What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So today we have some very important news that we need to get to. First, I want to address the new classified documents that are actually found in President Biden's possession or in his previous possession. So I want to address what's going on there. Yes, there's a second batch of documents that has been found. This is according to multiple news outlets just today. We are going to address that first. Then we will talk about the Pentagon news regarding vaccines. And lastly, I want to address the Social Security changes that have been proposed. Now, these haven't been proposed based off of a bill yet, but this is what's being discussed. And there are more discussions that are happening. There's more leaks that are coming out. So I will address that at the end of this video. Like always, I will actually put timestamps down in the bottom of this video so you can go and go to whatever section you want to watch. But again, I highly recommend you watch the whole thing because this is very important. So let's get down to it. The major story that is breaking today is that there has been more classified documents found that were in President Biden's possession. Now, this is not part of the initial batch that was found last year. That was found at the Penn Biden offices, the University of Pennsylvania office in Washington, D.C. The news today is that White House aides found another batch of documents. That's interesting. Now, according to multiple reports, White House aides have been frantically looking for any additional classified documents in other locations, and they found some. Earlier this morning, the White House press secretary, she stated that this situation is under review by the Department of Justice, and so she couldn't comment on this matter. However, people want answers. Many people are wondering, why is the White House waiting so long to disclose this issue? Again, the documents were found on November 2nd, right before the midterm elections. Obviously, this probably would have swayed some voters, but should the White House have came out and stated that, hey, some documents were found? Well, it's kind of a double standard because with former President Donald Trump, obviously they raided his Mar-a-Lago residence and found documents or whatever. So I'm curious what your thoughts on this are. But just the other day, President Biden, he finally addressed this, and he said, and I quote, "I was briefed about this discovery and surprised to learn that there were any government records that were taken there to that office. But I don't know what was in the documents. My lawyers have not suggested I ask what documents they were." But what a lot of people are wanting to know is just how many more documents are we going to find? Because it's difficult to ask somebody that doesn't have a great memory. It's difficult to ask, hey, did you take any more documents? Because if they say no, well, to their recollection, probably not. But again, who really knows? And then more big news that actually came out is that the Pentagon has removed their vaccine mandate that was in place for the past couple of years. Now, this means that they are not going to force people to go and get the vaccine anymore. However, they do highly encourage it. But over the past couple of years, people were forced to go and get this vaccine. Many people lost their rank as a result of this for not going through with it. Some people lost pay, were forced to take a little bit less before they decided to ultimately do it, and many just lost their benefits. Now, there are a bunch of lawsuits against the United States government, the Pentagon, and the military as a result of this, as we speak, but the problem remains the same. And what happens to those thousands of military personnel that lost their jobs? Will they get anything for it? Chances are they're not going to get anything. They're not going to get reimbursed for their lost wages, and chances are they won't be welcomed back either. And that's a real concern. So we will see what happens there, but as I get more information, I promise I will fill you in on those updates as soon as we get them. But let's talk about Social Security for a second. What is going on here? Well, according to many statements from Republicans, they are going to put social spending programs up against the debt ceiling. And what does this mean? Well, many believe they are specifically targeting Social Security. Well, here's the truth. Republicans are targeting Social Security, but it's not specific to Social Security. They want to target all social spending programs because social spending programs are a large portion of our debt. Now, here's what you must know. Due to the increased amount of Social Security recipients, the trust, which distributes the Social Security payments or is responsible for the funding, this is going to run out of money even faster than many expected. This is why some, even Democrats, have questioned the need to increase the full retirement age. The only issue is Democrats do not and will not be the ones that propose it. They will negotiate against it, but they will not propose it. I was reading a report today that said there were a few Democrats that didn't want to be named for obvious reasons, but they stated that chances are we will have to raise the full retirement age. Now, there's really only two ways that Congress is looking to improve Social Security and ensure that Social Security doesn't become insolvent. Now, I want to clarify one thing really quick. When it comes to improve Social Security, they're not talking about providing more benefits. They're not talking about sending you more money, okay? They're not talking about expanding the age. They're talking about improving it for people in the future. That's what they're discussing. And that means to ensure Social Security doesn't become insolvent. Well, how can they do that? The first way is pretty simple. You increase Social Security's revenue. Well, how do you do that? There's really only a couple ways to do that. The first way you can increase Social Security's revenue is by charging, making the American people pay more, right? So instead of us paying 12.4%, which it breaks down, 6.2% is paid by the employer, 6.2% is paid by the employee, which comes up to 12.4%. That is supposed to be paid on the first $160,200 of your income. Now, that's the second part. So first they can increase that tax over 12.4%. That's highly unlikely. The second thing is they can increase the Social Security income cap past the current limit of $160,200. That's the second way. But there is one person that is firmly against that. That is President Biden. Because he stated nobody making less than $400,000 per year would see a penny more in taxes. That specifically goes against one of his campaign promises. So that's unlikely to happen. The other one is they could target wealthy individuals. They could make the wealthy individuals pay for it. But even some Democrats have said that they're against that by targeting a specific group of people, the wealthy, people with money. That's a problem. So that's one way they can, ensure that Social Security doesn't become insolvent so soon. Second option, and this is one that we've talked about before, make Americans work longer. This means that you have to work more years, right? Either by you work more years to become fully eligible, or we push off the full retirement age before you can collect benefits. Now, currently, the most common response as to what we should wait till is age 70. I don't think it's going to go up any higher than that. That's what Republicans have, talked about, publicly. Democrats are not going to want to go any higher. But if this is the case, 70 is the mark, and we are currently at 67, guess what? It's probably going to be in between that. My guess is 68. That's probably what it's going to be. Now, again, you're probably thinking, well, 1 year, that's not a lot of time. Well, 1 year to somebody that is just about to qualify for benefits, that could make or break them. That could be it. If somebody can't work past age 67, but yet they got to wait until age 68 to collect benefits, that could be a problem. So that's what we know at this time. As always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on and share all the latest news and updates again. Thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.